Hey, I just got back from lunch. Did you finish that report yet?
Well, not exactly. Still working on it. I'm not finished just yet. I got a little sidetracked, but I will get them to you first thing this afternoon.
It is first thing this afternoon.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, I am working on
But
it. I'll have.
what do you mean that the report isn't finished yet?
I'm still in the process of working on it. I've just been a little distracted.
Distracted. Our meeting starts in an hour.
I can have it.
No. What were you doing? Were you listening to another hunting podcast again? I swear, I give the staff in this office the freedom to do whatever they want to do as long as they meet a deadline. That is the first bullet underneath your job description. Pays attention to detail and deadlines. And deadlines. Dude, are you even listening to me right now?
Welcome to episode 176 of the Whitetail Distraction Podcast. My name's Austin, and joining me in the pod port, Charles Headland. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? What's
going on, buddy?
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't remember
my
those
bad.
commercials.
My
Come
bad.
on, dude. Jeez, the one time
bad.
I give you a freaking underhand toss.
A curveball.
Yeah. Oh, that was nice with the
I
two
hit
together.
I hit a double.
You didn't even mean to hit both.
Oh,
That worked
my
out.
goodness.
That actually worked out really well.
That wasn't bad.
It was a little low. We'll see if it comes
It
through.
was
but-
supposed to be the little, just like one of these.
yeah.
Come on, man.
Ah, okay. So
There
you
you
didn't
go.
mean to hit candy bars.
No, I hit candy bars anyway. Candy bars. Come on, man.
Anyways, what is new, man?
Nothing, man. Been busy.
We had the Kill and Grill.
We did have the Kill and Grill.
Yep, that was fun.
That was good.
It was really fun.
Good turnout, especially for a rainy day.
Yeah.
I would
A
say.
lot of good food too.
Oh my good googly moogly.
What'd you end up doing again?
I did the queso fundirdo.
Dude, that
Little
was,
play on words.
I knew what you did, but it's
Yeah.
a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm acting. I'm acting.
I'm acting.
Dude, honestly, that was really, really good.
Oh, dude, I did it on the smoker.
Oh, that's why.
That's the money. The
Uh-huh.
money shot right there.
It was so
It
good.
was really good.
Our guest of the evening, Mr. Jaybo himself, is here. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
Definitely a
Appreciate you being
pleasure.
here.
You were here just in time for the Kill and Grill as well.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, what'd you think? First ever Kill and Grill.
26th annual
Yeah,
Kill and Grill.
yeah.
Awesome. Good people, good food, amazing food. It was like Thanksgiving where you eat, go take a break, come back, eat some more, and then you are stuffed, but you're like, man, that dessert looks great. So you
Oh,
grab
yeah.
some more, and then you start to hurt because you've ate so much food, but it was good stuff.
Yeah, I think it was nice. Like you said, it's tough because Austin had done it right this year and I didn't at all. But people come in at different times.
Yeah,
and
oh,
they
yeah.
bring a dish. So you're like, if depending on when you get there,
You gotta pace it, dude.
yeah, you get up there and you're like, wow, this looks good. This looks good. And you got a full plate. Next thing you know, like you're eating, you're full. And then 3 more people come in with 3 more dishes. And you're like, shit,
No bueno.
that looks good too.
Mhm.
But I'm not really hungry, but I'm just going to work through the pain because it's worth it.
We talked about it, and then you made a full damn plate.
I never claimed to be a bright man.
It's okay. I know why you did it. That's what I normally do, and I told myself this year I'm going to be picky and choosy so I can keep eating.
Yeah. Honestly, I did well. I did not have any meal up there that I wanted that I did not get to try.
Well, that's
So-
what matters.
But it helped. We went hunting. Like I'd been hunting for like 3 days straight.
So you were hungry.
Yeah, I was pretty freaking
I was
hungry. I mean, we hunted that morning before the Kill and Grill.
Oh, yeah, you did.
And we'll get into that. But
You kill it, and then you grill it.
yeah. Yeah. And I want to, thank you for the advice on the add the deer meat in with the turkey tacos.
Solid.
It worked out really well, man.
Yeah, dude.
I know I gave that recipe to Matt Talkington, and he tried it, and he loved it.
It's so good, bro.
He and his dad ate it the other day, right after we did. So I think it was Sunday before his dad headed back. They had it. And you know what he did that I never thought of? He just ate it straight up and dipped it in the sweet and sour sauce.
Ooh, that's a solid move.
I
dude.
never thought about that.
That's
I mean,
a baller move.
that's sweet
dude.
and sour. That's like the bread and butter of it.
It is pretty. I like it all together though too.
Yeah.
That's just a solid, well-rounded recipe, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tacos, I mean, I would eat that on a salad. I would everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with my taco the next day, I put like the sweet and sour sauce on there.
Did a little drizzle.
Drizzle.
I like it.
I tried that with cheese, and it was pretty good too.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, something cool I had for the first time was the walleye mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a northerner thing, I guess. But
Yeah, well,
It's like a play on like lobster mac.
it was amazing.
But with
Who made
walleye.
that? Was that your?
That was my sister-in-law.
it was
made
good.
that.
Dude, I missed that.
That was Brittany's. Yeah, it was
I
all the
am
way,
bummed.
It was all the way at the end, the far right.
Oh, I missed
There was
it.
like the big regular mac and cheese someone brought,
I saw that.
and then right behind it was the walleye mac and cheese.
Oh man.
Yeah, there was, like I said, there was nothing that wasn't amazing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
You're
but,
okay.
But the walleye mac and cheese was pretty cool
It was
because
pretty solid.
never
something
had
different.
it. Yeah, just
Right.
something different. I mean, there was a lot of different takes on different types of tacos, taco seasoning. Everybody had their own recipe. You know, it's just and then the desserts were just never had no bake before. Whatever
No bake cookies.
whatever those are, but they were
Oh,
freaking.
bro.
I could not stop eating them.
Those
so
were
good.
like, and that was like
And I heard that like that wasn't even
that was like if I had to grade my mom's no bakes, that was probably like a D- or an F.
and those were awesome. So
Whoa.
She will admit it.
Be nice.
No, it's. I mean, she was watching kids. She's busy. She overcooked them a little bit. But they, even though
She overcooked them. They're
Yeah.
no bake.
they were no, you gotta cook. You gotta cook them on the stove top in the big pot.
You're not
That's how she
baking it.
does
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, you get them on the big old pot on the stove, mix it all in, mix all them ingredients, and then she'll go out and she'll pour each one with a spoon.
Yeah.
And she cooked them too long.
Good thing she
burned
doesn't
them
listen to
up.
the podcast, or you wouldn't be getting no more no bakes.
Listen, she
D,
said
I mean, those
she,
were things
she
that were
knew.
A plus.
She
to
was
me,
so
man.
sad. She was heartbroken. But I'll be honest, the taste was not any different. But normally those are real soft and they just melt in your mouth. But yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't her best.
What was
Maybe
it?
I'll give her a C minus.
What was
Okay.
the other, the little
Those little cheesecakes.
cheesecakes with blueberry on them?
Oh, and there was like a chocolate caramel one too.
Yeah.
You know who we were missing was Brock and Nikki.
Oh, they didn't show up?
I never saw them.
I didn't see them either.
And they usually bring like a deer pizza.
The venison pizza,
venison pizza. Dude, holy shit.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this is the first year we had a lot of tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally, you don't really see a lot of tacos.
It's a
but-
little bit. I'm just gonna throw it out there for those that are listening. It's a little bit of a cop out to do tacos.
Hey,
Yours is different.
hey!
Yours is
I
different.
am sitting right here.
Yours is different.
The queso was good. It was awesome. I kept going back
Come
for
on.
that venison.
I'm kidding.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm not.
Well, it was me, my dad, and Sam that did the tacos.
Yeah.
So you got to talk to them.
Well,
But we all did different tacos.
I heard
Right.
you first. You claimed it first.
I was definitely first. 100%. I've been doing those turkey tacos for 3 years now.
Yeah.
My dad did like a pulled venison taco with
Solid.
like a pico de gallo and stuff. And then Sam did that. He did like more of a Mexican style taco.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With the strips of.
Yeah.
um,
Forgot about that. We got to
rear
sample that the
quarter.
night before.
Yes.
And that corn
The
salsa.
corn
salsa.
salsa. So in all reality, I kind of like the tacos because, you can make a few little tacos and not get like super full on them. It's
That's
almost
true.
like a little condado there.
You got to do
know?
like a little street taco style, though.
Yeah.
If you're gonna,
I
do it
did
that
the
way.
bigger taco show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
might
all
have to go
good.
smaller next year. But my pieces are big.
Chop them up smaller.
Oh, come on, man.
It's already
Come on,
enough.
Come on, man.
It's already enough work, man.
Yeah, I spent hours in front of there just cutting those little things up.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Pennsylvania deer, but he told me I thought it was backstrap because it was so tender
Oh yeah.
and
well,
flavorful.
if you dry
and he
age
was
them,
like,
man,
this is a hind quarter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, must be all that corn and soybean. And,
I don't
So
know.
I don't know,
can you
man.
guys dry age down there, or is it too damn hot?
no. I mean, we do it just maybe different from you.
Just
the way you
different,
guys
yeah.
do it. Yeah, but
A good dry age,
Yeah.
man, like a
Mhm.
solid week of dry age at least. I think you go upwards of 12 days, something like
I
that.
do. Yeah. I've
It
done
just makes
14.
for phenomenal
Mhm.
eating, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to do 10 minimum nowadays, honestly,
It's hard unless you have a cooler.
which I do now.
You do now.
And I had the fridge before that I was using,
Mhm.
and I fixed them up to where I had those baking racks in like those big Cabela's bins.
You have to.
So I could spread all the meat out and
But keep it
truly
dry.
get
Yep.
airflow
Mhm.
and everything else. But now I have that cooler. It has a fan in it.
You know what I'm so bummed about?
What?
I was gonna buy some stuff out of that sale,
Yeah.
and it totally slipped my mind, and I dropped the ball.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. There aren't that many great priced items left.
I wanted to get
They went pretty
one of those tabletops.
high.
I
Oh,
really
the
wanted
stainless
one.
steel.
Stainless with the big ass cutting board on it.
Yeah, there was a couple really good ones there.
Mhm.
But they, again, those,
I
they're
know.
cheaper than what you would get them for normally.
I'll
But
take
you
a
still
good
would have
deal
spent
any day.
150 to 200 bucks probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll take a good deal.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyways, speaking of good deals, what do you got there?
Well, this week, Scree Gear is, they're talking about the hard scrabble vest, which is one of my favorite pieces, hands down. I
Mhm.
love a good vest.
I'm a
and the
vest
hard
guy.
scrabble vest is just.
Yeah, I see there's 2 prices on your screen. You want to...
There is 2
explain
prices.
that?
So the normal price is $125.95, and the Hunt Club price, if you join the Hunt Club, is $113.36.
Nice. 10% off. Immediately.
10% off immediately.
Just for being a Hunt Club member. And basically what that Hunt Club is, you sign up, you put down
$10
$10 a month. That money doesn't go towards like some subscription fee. The money goes into your bank basically within Scree.
Yeah.
So you're giving yourself $10
You get $10 store credit for every month.
every single month.
Yeah.
So you're spending $10, but that money is technically just going into more or less like a little savings account for Scree.
Exactly.
If you want to think of it that way.
Exactly.
And you get larger discounts. You get earlier access towards their discounts and new items.
Yep.
Dude, the Hunt Club is legit. And they're giving away free stuff like every month.
Every
the Hunt
single
Club
month,
members.
man.
Like big prize stuff.
Big prizes.
So
Yeah, it's pretty
good
solid.
for Scree, man.
I agree.
I like
agree.
the vest. Good call on the vest tonight.
Yeah, well, it was on their homepage. They were like, "Hey, check this out." I
Check
was like,
out the
"What's
vest."
up?"
They've been talking a lot about the hard scrabble pants too. 50%
yeah.
off right now, guys. Select sizes and colorations.
They're like $65, something like that.
dude, it's insane.
Hard to beat. But if you're interested, use code WDP20 for 20% off your first purchase.
There you go.
Boom. Ooh, VIP archery. You know what we're talking about this week?
Baby, the OG
The
blue.
OG blue, man.
Is that really $15?
$15, dude, for a 3-pack
Dang.
of the OG blue veteran.
That's the veteran. Okay,
That's the
that's
veteran.
why. The OG blue veteran.
Yeah, dude.
I still have a couple of them floating around somewhere.
I still have a couple floating around too, man.
I think those would make great turkey broadheads.
Oh, they absolutely would. I will say the first deer that I shot with one of those, I shot through both shoulders.
Yeah.
Clean pass through. That deer went 40 yards and fell over. It was unbelievable.
I've seen some carnage from those broadheads, but when they came out with the combat veteran, dude.
It's
sorry-
hard to beat.
Sorry,
dude.
OG blue veteran, but you took a backseat pretty quick,
The
buddy.
old combat.
But for
vet.
$15 for 3, dude, broadheads.
It's $5
How-
broadhead that you can reuse over and over and
How
over
is that
again.
even? I don't even know how that's possible.
Isn't that crazy?
That is like unreal. It's so good.
Rolling right into Back 40 Seed Co.
Ooh,
Oh,
the
my
game
goodness.
fuel, huh?
Yeah, we're still in spring, but we're getting a little bit past spring, so I
Yep.
figured I would throw something in for your fall planting season.
Good call.
Back 40 game fuel. You have
I-
personal experience with this bad boy, so I figured it was appropriate.
It is appropriate. We used it last year on our little kill plot within the orchard down at Sam's parents, and I'll tell you what the deer didn't absolutely annihilate, because they annihilated it. They loved it. We had some fenced in areas, and this stuff grew wild.
Yeah, dude.
It would have been like knee high.
Look at that right
Yeah,
there.
exactly what the picture shows on their website is exactly what it looked like inside those fences. Everything else, though, those deer were literally on that nonstop. I mean, we had picture after picture after picture of deer just in there crushing that thing. And then he ends up shooting his biggest buck to date
Unbelievable, man. Use
right
code,
off of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Use
Yeah.
code distraction10 for 10% off.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
And they're good ass dudes too.
They are good ass
They're
dude.
really good dudes.
Refer back to the podcast. We gotta get them back on. I'd like to
Yeah.
do one in person with them.
We will.
They
We will.
legitimately recorded a podcast around a campfire.
Yeah, it was freaking
It
awesome.
was so good.
So cool.
I'm a fan.
Jealous. What do you got there?
ANF custom calls.
Nice. I see you went with the Boss Hen Series combo cut.
Combo cut.
Combo cut killed a turkey recently.
Uh-oh.
Yes, it did.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
not the Boss Hen Series. It was the, what is that? The competition, the gray
Yeah,
competition one.
Yeah.
But I do have this exact call in my get up right now.
Row.
Yeah, I'm a fan of
Deadly.
the Boss Hen stuff too.
Deadly.
Yep. That red latex tape is just, I don't know what it is about it, but I like the red tape.
I will tell you, I'm a fan of the red tape over the green tape.
Yeah, the green tape.
That green tape,
It's a little rough.
it's a little funky
Little
in
funky?
the old food hole.
Yeah. The old food hole.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's different. And
It
he's
just, I don't care how long you use it.
yeah.
Every time I put one in, because
Yeah.
I still have one in the backlog just chilling in there. And I always I love how it sounds, but I just regret putting it in my mouth. I'm just like, oh.
None of the other ones do that. It's
No,
just
they
the
don't.
green. So
The green.
he's getting away from the green.
Getting
That's why
away
you
from
got
the green.
you got the orange, you got the gray, the red, and the black.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they're all amazing.
A&F Custom Calls.
There you go.
One more piece of business we need to talk
Ooh.
about.
Yeah. Got a shout out new Patreon member,
Yeah, dude, go for it.
Mr. Paco himself, Anthony McDaniel, newest Patreon member. Welcome to the distraction, my friend. And he jumped right in. That man was like craving turkey content. And really, I mean, our group's
Fed
got the freaking turkey content going right now. All of us northern guys that are season's just kicking off. Now Jaybo's up here. Like, we're giving him what he wants.
I
For
agree.
sure. And he will be the second owner of the first rollout of turkey distraction hats.
Whoa. That's legit.
First one's going to be Joe Marcello.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Very cool. We got some really cool turkey distraction stickers right now, too.
Yes, we do. We have whitetail distraction stickers. We have turkey distraction stickers. And we have some fishing shirts that we just started to roll out, kind of like a test run with our Patreon guys. Which, Jaybo, before you leave, remind me to show you in case you want some to take home.
I'm going to need one.
Mhm.
I'm going to need a turkey distraction sticker, too, for my Nalgene.
Yeah, I got to. I thought you took one in West Virginia.
I did not. I
Oh,
meant
okay.
to.
I'll get you one.
I took the
We got a bunch.
I took the ding dongs and the nutty buddies instead of
Hey, listen, I can't blame you there. I can't even judge you.
I was like
That's-
falling asleep driving home, and I was just, dude, I was eating ding dongs like a savage.
Nice. Nice. Ding dong. I haven't had ding dong in a while. That was a good treat. Thank you, a damn Ray Har, for those.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And the Nutty Buddies.
And the
too.
nutty buddies. I said I was taking them for my kids, but I ate them all.
You son of a bitch.
I'm
You.
sorry.
You would. This guy. You can't
They were
trust him.
delicious.
Can't trust him.
Oh, it happens.
All right. Well, let's get into this. We got Jaybo with us around the table.
The man of the hour.
The man of the week.
Yeah.
He's come up to Pennsylvania to see what turkey hunting up north is all about. And I think so far we've given him a pretty fair assessment of hunting here, and definitely gave him a good, fair assessment of hunting West Virginia.
Oh my.
We're going to get into all that
We'll
good
get
stuff.
into that reason and whatnot. But
Definitely.
Jaybo, first time to Pennsylvania. What's your first impression, dude?
Loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the culture. That was my big thing, is to come up and turkey hunt, but I also wanted to kind of immerse myself in the culture. Permanente Brothers. I had
Ooh.
my Pittsburgher,
Yes.
which was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
We hit up Four Bush. Got some
Four Bush
ice.
ice
Four
cream.
Bush ice cream.
Got some
What
ice
flavor did
cream.
you get?
I got the
Black raspberry.
black
Mhm.
raspberry.
Oh.
So you got the one scoop of black raspberry, one scoop of vanilla,
Okay.
And the
In a
cool-
waffle cone?
and no, in a cup.
Okay.
You
That
went
way,
with the
that
cup.
way I could come down through the top with a
Okay.
spoon and
I'm a
then
fan.
into
You did the
van-
old double dip.
Yeah.
Mix it in, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And then you could like extra that, a
Yep.
little less of that, and you could get a different experience in every bite.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Awesome,
All right.
yeah, awesome. Super impressed with the business. I mean, walk up there cash only,
Yep.
and they're like doing it
Or
old.
checks randomly.
Yeah.
Doing like they're doing like old school math on pieces of paper.
Yep.
It was freaking. I was like, this is so cool.
It's wild, isn't
Back,
it?
yeah, I felt like I was back in the night, and it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
We brought him to Los Amigos
Oh yeah.
for Taco Tuesday.
I love Los
Also
Amigos.
awesome. Very good.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, hey man, the tacos aren't really like their taco specials aren't like the greatest food that they have there, because they have so many really, really good,
But it's
good
cheap.
meals. And I said, but it's cheap.
I think I like
It was
ate
good.
all I could eat for $7.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, yeah.
stuffed walking out of there, and I was like, and the food, like he said, he's a critic. I thought it was great.
It
Dude.
is no,
Yeah,
it is good,
Yeah.
but I'm saying their other meals are
Are
just
top-notch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like way above their tacos.
Oh,
Their tacos
yeah.
are good, but their meals are like,
Super quesadilla fajita.
oh,
with the old
one of my favorites.
fried jalapenos.
Yeah.
Sabelli
yeah.
got what, the barbecue nachos or something?
That's not on the menu. He does that all the time.
Oh, it's like a special thing?
I just want to smack him. He literally gets chicken and he makes him put barbecue on it and then throws it over top of freaking a whole bed of like
Queso dip.
chips with queso
Nachos.
dip on it.
I got to be honest. I'm surprised he doesn't order pizza there.
Yeah, that's
Like they have one bottle of barbecue sauce and it says Sabelli on it, like a little sticky note in the back.
I bet you're right.
Oh yeah.
probably does. I've never
they
had anyone ever in a million years order anything with barbecue sauce in that place. It is a Mexican restaurant.
That's what I'm saying. Like they upcharge him big time too.
I hope
they were
they
like
do.
they were like $24, and he was like, okay,
Okay. That's a good deal, right?
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty average.
That kid, man. I'll tell you what.
I
you
love
just can't
him.
take
I
him out of
love
there.
him.
But
I never met Sabelli in person until coming up here.
Mhm.
I just heard of the legend, the myth, the legend.
He is a myth.
He lives up to it. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I love the guy.
He's so fun.
He's a lot of fun.
He's just a trip.
Yep, a lot of fun, but he also sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
You're only saying that because he's going to listen to this.
Yeah, I know.
Love you, Sabelli.
Yeah, we do. We're probably going to go fishing Saturday night. Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Do a little night fishing.
Call me.
West Mini?
Oh, no, I can't. Never mind. Don't call me. My
Okay,
wife's going to
fuck
be
you.
out of town. I'm
I
going to
won't
have the
call
girls.
you then. Screw you, man.
I'm going to have the girls. I'm on daddy duty.
I might try to
Daddy
go
duty.
on Sunday point too. I don't know yet. It depends. All this chaos and hecticness.
I've
Wow.
been itching, bro.
I honestly haven't even thought about it yet. The F word is the F word for a reason. I don't even wanna
Speaking of
talk
F
about
word, man, didn't you say we're going to, what's that pizza place we're hitting up tomorrow?
it. Marshallone's.
Yeah.
Ooh, Marshallone's is solid.
And what's the other place like that?
So I gave him the choice: Marshallone's or Mangino's.
Ooh, that's a tough decision.
Both sounds awesome.
Very
Different
tough.
styles.
Yes, Mangino's personally is one of my
Four
favorites
mans with hot peppers and tomatoes. Unreal.
because there's more variety, and it's like right there in the window, so like you can look and see what you want and pick.
Get
rather
a
than
meatball dugout.
and you can mix and match. Like you can get, I want one of these. I want one of these. I want a stromboli. I want a roni roll. Whatever.
Right.
Like they have them all right there.
I'm like a New York style pizza, thin crust. That's
Then you want Marshallone's.
Thin crust. No.
yeah. I'm not like a Chicago deep guy, so
Yeah, you want Marshallone's.
Marshallone's got more. They're both
Have
pretty
they
doughy.
changed it?
No, they're both pretty doughy, aren't they?
Not really.
But you mentioned stromboli.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, Pizza Joe's breakfast.
Breakfast
Stromboli.
Stromboli's unreal, dude.
Oh
So
my
good.
god,
So
good.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was his birthday. Like
Yeah, it was-
Mr. Pizza Joe
was-
himself was his
yeah.
birthday.
Oh, yeah.
The day I killed my first turkey in Pennsylvania ever. A lot of firsts.
Oh,
man.
hey-oh.
Yeah.
So we had like the 26th annual Kill and Grill
Yeah.
on the same day that was Pizza Joe's birthday. On the
Uh-huh.
same day, I busted my first turkey in my life. There we
Uh-huh.
go. That's exactly what it sounded like before. Turned him into a jellyhead.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot
It
of
was a
firsts,
great
man.
day,
I'm pretty
huh?
proud of it. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of historic stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
I've been trying to give you the good feel of what it's like up here, all in a nutshell.
Yeah.
yeah,
Doing my best. But also, we cooked up steaks. Tonight we did, he had his first buttered noodles tonight.
Bird noodles.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's not a thing,
it's
down,
like
dude.
a-
That's not a thing
it's-
everywhere.
That is a staple in this household.
Yeah.
We had cheese to our noodles.
Yeah.
We call it mac and cheese.
We do that too.
We do. We add.
We
like,
do shaker cheese.
we like Alfredo sauce on our noodles.
Oh, yeah.
The butter noodles. That's definitely new.
You can add, I
I gotta
didn't do
take
it.
him to freaking Cedars and get him lamb.
Oh God, I was thinking something for like the
This is a food
the-
podcast.
yeah,
No.
the Middle Eastern stuff around here.
We'll
'cause
do a
we
turkey
have
on one
lot.
next week or something.
That would be a good idea. Lamb with the garlic sauce since you
It's
like
just an
garlic.
experience, dude.
We'll have to put a note in the show notes like turkey hunting starts at 10 minutes. And
23 minutes and 38
Yeah.
seconds.
Oh, my
Here
gosh.
we go.
Well, let's get into it. Let's
All
break
right.
down this trip a little bit. So you came in Friday.
yeah, Friday night,
Friday
which
night.
was awesome because it was great. Picked me up from the airport. We went straight to Roost Birds.
Did you have to run into traffic and jump in the back of the truck?
Not quite.
No,
I didn't.
I got over in time.
I, did,
Okay.
I didn't do a pork chop.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I didn't wear a funny costume. I wore normal people clothes.
Normal people.
I wanted to
clothes.
blend in.
It's a little disappointing.
I did
Pork
wear
chop's
my
entrance
I
was
did
way
wear my
better.
Heart of Florida hat though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my Heart of Florida t-shirt. Gave Chuck one.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
had a 2XL that I couldn't get rid of.
How do you have a 2XL? Oh my goodness.
For me.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
So I basically came in looking like a poser because I'm in PA. I'm wearing like Heart of Florida hat, Heart of Florida T-shirt. I wanted people to know I was from Florida.
I'm from Florida.
I was that guy in the airport. They're like, I wonder where he's from. And I was like, I'm from Florida, if you know.
Yeah.
I was proud, but yeah. So we basically straight from the airport right to Roost Birds. It was cool. I mean, first time ever where they actually responded to my owl hoots or Chuck's owl hoots. He's got that magical owl hoot, both natural and with the call.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool, man. I think the first spot we got nothing, right? Or we thought
we heard one.
Yeah, but like I was like, okay, that's got to be a phantom gobble. I want one so bad. Just got off the plane, my ears are still
Popping.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
There's no way that was a turkey. And Chuck was like, I think that was a turkey, and I'm like, well, if he heard it, maybe. So then we drove around the other side, and then boom, we got they hammered like I don't know 3 or 4 different birds.
Yep.
And then so basically we got even close where we basically parked in front of this guy's house. And we're standing out in front of it in his driveway, and the guy's looking at us like out there, and we're like, woohoo.
We're gonna rob you.
And we're not gonna rob you, I promise. We're just trying to kill the turkeys in your backyard.
Dude, like 6 lit up.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome, man.
I was like,
it was great. And I got it on Polo, so everybody was like,
I heard that.
yeah,
Polo.
they were kind of like, that's the cool thing about the Marco Polo group, man. Everybody can be live, and you're just, watching you roost birds, and they're hammering back. And,
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so then, it was pretty cool. We got to roost birds at night as soon as I got here, and then went home that night and game planned. I'll let Chuck tell the main story, and then I'll pitch in and, just kind of my perspective of it,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
like it.
Yeah, it was, Jaybo got to learn pretty quick that I kind of wait till very, very last minute and rack about 450 different options in my brain before I come up with like a game plan, like a true game plan.
I know how that goes.
Yeah. So he's over here like, what do you think we should do? What about this? What about that? And I was like, it's a good question.
Are you ready for this?
I'll get back to you. One of the things.
We've been planning this trip since last spring when he came down to Florida to hunt with me. And I show up and he's like, I don't know what we're doing. I was like, what?
Yeah. We were, the funny part is we were going to roost at a different place, but since his flight got delayed, we didn't really have time to get all the way up in there and go to the top of that hill and try to listen.
That's on the way home.
Yeah. So I was like, well, let's just swing by real quick. There's a spot where they were roosted last year. We can check from basically some people's yards. And like he said, they hammered. So I got a good game plan for the morning. I know where we're going to access. Joe was going to hunt with us because this was basically the only day he was going to be able to hunt. And we had been planning it. I was like, okay, well then, Jaybo, tag along. We got a ton of birds showing up basically. If the longbeard shows up, Joe wants to shoot it. But guess what? If the Jakes show up, we're going to get Jaybo his first turkey.
Jaybo.
So that was the game plan pretty much going into it. We got in there a little late. Not late, a little later than we wanted to. Plenty early, but for whatever reason, that was the night of the Northern Lights.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was so bright. Like
5 o'clock in the morning.
5 in the morning, you could see.
Like
crystal clear.
Didn't need a headlamp or nothing.
That's awesome.
There wasn't a moon. There was like a little sliver of moon. And we could kind of see like...
It's like that glow.
Yeah, we could see like the remnants of what was left of the Northern Lights, but there was a little bit too much city glow to truly see them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got in there and it was kind of already weird. And we got to where we wanted to be. And right off the rip, we totally weren't sure because the way they gobbled in that chain, they kind of gobbled down the ridge. So we weren't sure how many were like down the ridge where we were going to be. So we set up a little farther than I would have liked off the rip
initially,
but also trying to hide 3 people in there. It's pretty open, and the trees they're like one tree and there's another tree, and then they're like all separated. You know what I mean? But basically there was like some brush piles in there, and we got right up next to one and got tucked in real tight. And then we waited and waited, and dude, there was like 0 gobbling. Like the trains would come by and blow on their horns, and I'm like, all right, that'll wake them up.
No response.
Next train comes by. This one definitely going to wake them up. Nope. Nothing.
Well, they've been listening to those trains since they were poults.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no reaction.
they don't. We probably heard
Yeah.
30 trains by the time sunup came up. It was insane, but
Oh man.
I mean,
know-
if you think about it, like that, if you watch that documentary, My Life as a Turkey, they've been
Mhm.
listening to those trains since they were in the egg.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to them, that those trains were their parents. Like,
Right.
there goes mommy,
uh-huh.
there goes dad. You know, like,
Yeah.
but yeah,
It's not
no-
shock gobbling.
Yeah, it
them
was
anymore.
definitely not a
Yeah.
shock gobble because
They've
no
heard
response.
it a million times, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's right there. So I was like, all right, well, it doesn't matter. We know the turkey are here. We know they're here. They're right on this ridge. Like, we'll be okay. So I owl hooted, and I think I got one to gobble after a few owl hoots. And it was like a half-ass gobble, and it was out there a little ways. So I'm sitting back, and I'm kind of, wondering, should we move? What should we do? And later, way, way later than I expected, they finally start. They finally start to actually start communicating. And it was like a couple here and there. And then all of a sudden, they start getting fired up.
Yeah.
And it was like they would feed off each other. And there was all of them. They were all gobbling back and forth, back and forth. And I still think, personally, that there was a Tom in that group. We never saw one. But I feel like that one gobble,
It was just strong.
was strong
Yeah.
and long, and it was like you could tell the Jakes pretty clear.
It had some bass to it. You know,
Yeah, the one had some boistring. It was deep. So I was like, okay, we're in business, but we're a little farther than I'd like to be. And the whole time, you know me, I'm itching. I'm like, I like to get aggressive. I'm hearing the turkeys. I want to move another 50 yards. Like, I just want to be a fit. But 3 people in pretty open woods, I don't know if we can pull it off. So we hesitated probably longer than we should have. The birds finally flew down. They gobbled. I'd call, and they weren't super interested in my calling. Like, every once in a while, I'd get them to gobble, and it sounded like they were coming in.
Yeah.
And then, boom, they'd turn right around.
Oh man.
So we're like, they're hung up in that spot. That's where they want to be. Then finally, Jaybo put eyes on one, and he could see it up on, like, just the silhouette of him up on, like, as the ridge was going. And he was gobbling and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to get too aggressive because every once in a while they'd go quiet. I'm like, they could be coming.
They could.
So finally, I was like, I have had enough of this. I am dying inside. We need to move. So we moved up probably 60 yards. And we had already been eyeballing some trees and stuff. And it was, honestly, it was a better play. It was more open. I could see turkeys coming into that spot way more than I could back where we were originally. It was way thicker than I anticipated and a lot greener. So we moved up. And the first thing we did before we were even set up, I called. And dude, this bird hammers like 40 yards away just over the roll in the hill down below us. Like, that one hit right on top of us. So we're scrambling. I'm trying to get them in place. Got them both on their trees side by side. I kind of backed off behind them, just threw the decoy in the ground real quick to try to take any kind of, attention away from these two. And of course, the thing like fell over halfway. But so we have the bird like to our left gobbling down the ridge, and we just figured he worked back that way, and we're working him. He's gobbling. And then all of a sudden I hear the loudest, like, deepest putt right off our right-hand side.
Oh no.
So whatever one gobbled just over that lip, the other ones were still down, which I think was maybe the Tom, the main gobbler. He was hammering, and we were focused on him. Jaybo had his gun that way, Joe had his gun that way. I didn't even have a gun. And I was hanging out behind him thinking, okay, that's going to be the one. And all of a sudden that one came up hardcore, 3 o'clock.
I learned a lot of lessons while being up here. And, you have pros and cons of terrain elevation.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely
We talked
do.
about it today. One of the cons is they can telescope, catch you, bust you, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Or even all you hear is a putt, and you look over and he's already gone.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. 10 yards from us, he come bulldozing through brush. We didn't think he would. That's the other thing I learned. They will bulldoze through brush
Mm-hmm.
when there's a deer trail, that path of least resistance, right?
Yeah.
It happened to me twice where I'm setting up on the path of least resistance and the birds come literally bulldozing. Like you can actually see like little brush, like falling over as they're walking over it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. He popped up. He bulldozed up that hill through brush. We, never would have popped up, saw us, and basically side profile at that point.
Yeah.
and we didn't stand a chance. We weren't even moving,
Yeah.
but he just knew that
They know.
something wasn't right.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. And for that turkey's perspective, he wasn't even done seeing the decoy because decoy was behind. I put it between the two of us, like behind them. So if something came from the left, they would see it, take the eye off those guys.
Yeah.
And that turkey, the way he came up, these guys would have been blocking the decoy from his view. So he putts the whole way around that ridge side.
Of course he does.
Yeah, like 70 yards right towards the turkey that was gobbling. But amidst his putting, that bird's still going off. Like, not frequently, but
That's
he gobbled.
something
Maybe
else
he
I
thought it
learned.
was cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah, something else I learned that when if he putts, it's not over.
No, it's
like
not
just
over.
stay in the game. Like
not everybody trusts that little goober Jake.
right.
You know?
He might have been the boy that cried wolf, too. He might have just been
Right.
like, oh, he putts all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's old Putt McGee over there.
That's
Yeah.
Pete the putter.
Beat the butter.
Yeah.
So he's putting over to our
Pistol
left.
Pete.
Pistol Pete, yeah. And that bird's still gobbling. I'm like, okay, so we're still in the game here. And we got him pretty fired up. And he started to get close. And then that bird that was putting went up on the hill to our left and started gobbling. Like the
Unreal.
most Jake gobble you'd ever heard. Like he's just up there and just that rattling. It's like, like just such a Jake. And the other ones were fired up down below. So eventually, as much as it hurts me, I had to go kind of quiet, let them go quiet and work away so we could take their place.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
my thought.
Yeah.
Because where we were, for whatever reason, they did not want to come up over that one ridge and into that flat that we were on. They just didn't want to be there.
Ridges are hard, man. Sometimes they'll cross them, sometimes they won't.
Yeah.
When they don't, you get into a position where you think they're going to come up, they go down.
Mm-hmm.
You get into a position where you think they're going to go down, they go up.
Yeah.
It's just, it's what they feel like that day, really.
Yeah. And I knew there was a hen in the game. I had heard her a couple times. She never yelped or anything, but every once in a while she'd put out
Just
a couple like clucks and like a cut, like a quick cut and a I don't even know what to call them. Like just a quick, like a burp, burp. And that was it. And it was like, okay, that's weird, but I know there's a hen there. Like she doesn't have to make a lot of noise. There's gobblers all around her making noise. But I heard her a couple times and I was like, okay, so there's a couple things in play here. For whatever reason, they don't want to be on this flat. And two, there's still a hen in play. But I think if we get to where they were roosting and they've been kind of displaying all morning, we'll have a chance. So we got that third move was our aggressive one. We went all the way to the back part of the next ridge where it just first starts going up. So we were basically at the end of the flat before it shelves up to the next one. So we took that up the hill to where like this big knob that they were roosting over and hanging out all morning. And it's gorgeous. I mean, it's wide open woods with big oaks and oak leaves on the ground all scratched up.
Good scratching.
Just absolutely beautiful. But then when I got to the top, I'm looking around. There's nowhere to set up. Like there's no trees. The trees that are there, they're right on the edge of this knob. And there you literally be able to shoot maybe 10 yards.
That's too close.
So I'm like, oh shit, what do we do? Well, here we go over the knob and I'm looking down. And this looks like a beautiful draw coming out of that bottom right around the knob. It draws up and comes up the hill perfectly, like right in front of us. I'm like, okay. And on the way down the hill, there's two mega mother oaks, like mega oaks. Those
Perfect.
things were,
Perfect for two guys to sit on because
like all three of us probably could have
Right.
sat on. They were that big.
yeah, because Joe and I were pretty much trying to stay together so we can communicate.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because he was dead set on that long beard. Like
Yeah.
he had an appointment with that joker.
Good old Joe.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so Joe and I were sticking together. Plus, I wanted to learn from Joe. I'm pretty new.
Yeah.
He was, basically we were both kind of talking things. Hey, if I can cover right, you cover left.
Yeah.
And another thing I learned is like I'm right-handed, so it's easier to swing left than
Mhm.
swinging right. I never thought of that until Chuck mentioned it.
Yeah.
So now when I set up, I set with basically my furthest right limit. Like I'm hard right basically.
Yep.
Mhm.
That way I can't really go further right, but I can swing once he maybe
Right.
goes behind a tree if he putts, and sometimes they putt and they walk and they look. So I can, some cool stuff I'd learned just, Chuck and then Joe kind of helping me a little,
Yeah.
think through stuff like that.
And Joe's not much of a turkey hunter. My brother Joe, he's really not.
He's been in some incredible situations.
Yeah.
But he's a dang
He
good
always
deer
gets
hunter.
that
He is.
crazy.
So-
He's a
I think the
deer killing
instinct.
machine.
He's a
for
good
him.
outdoorsman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got
Yeah.
good woodsmanship, man.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So it helps, definitely. But, I wanted to stay back and call for these guys.
That makes
And
sense.
see if I could draw them up this draw. Perfect. Like, just absolutely, most beautiful looking thing you'd ever think of. So we get in there, send them down over the hill. Well, then I'm panicking. Well, where the hell do I sit? And I look up the hill, and there's this giant oak tree that they must have cut. And it's laying on its side.
Nice.
Up the hill. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to sit right up against this thing. Like, it's giant. It covered me perfect. So I sat up against it. Probably was the ideal setup because we still could have shot down the draw and the top. But once I already sent them down there, it was too late.
You can't have them come back.
No, they were, and I think them walking to get to the tree down there in those leaves, all the birds gobbled.
Yeah.
Right as they got to the
They
tree.
knew.
And I am screaming down there at Joe to sit the hell down because he like froze when they gobbled. And like he was almost thinking in his head, and he told me this, like, he's like, I didn't think I had enough time to actually sit down.
You're just going to stand there?
Yeah, I was like, well, what did you think you were going to do? Just stand still? Like, that was going to work. We hadn't called or anything yet, but I'm like, okay, and I'm screaming, sit down, Joe, sit down. You can't hear me. I'm whisper yelling at him.
Yeah.
From 50 yards away.
Yeah.
And I'm like so pissed. I'm like, would you just sit down already? Jaybo got up to the tree, went around it, and boop, straight down. Now, granted, Jaybo was on the left side of the tree. They gobbled from the right. So I get it. Like, he was exposed. But, dude, get down. Get
down again.
Get down. So he did. He sat down. It was all fine. Nobody spooked anything. So whenever they both got in, I started calling, and dude, like, it's going to happen. And I'm thinking, I'm casting my call down this draw, thinking they're going to come right into their barrels. It's going to be gorgeous. These birds are gobbling. Next thing you know, they kind of go quiet, and I hear walking. I'm like, oh no. I hear walking directly straight uphill to the top of that knob instead of coming around like we talked about.
They know.
Yeah, they didn't take the path of least resistance.
Nope.
And the beautiful bench. I mean,
yeah,
they decided to.
They didn't care about me casting
Yeah.
my call down the hill. They literally came on a freaking beeline right to me.
Come to me, ladies.
I mean, they're crashing. There's literally a treetop that they're breaking through. Like,
Yeah.
No kidding.
To get to me. And this was probably my favorite part of the whole hunt was when I saw them. They come out, and three of them like peeked out over the ledge, and they're looking down at like Joe and Jaybo. And I'm like, oh no, the gig is
over.
up.
Yeah.
It's over. And then all of them together.
That's awesome.
Like literally 10 yards over our shoulders.
Yeah.
Like looking down
Like
on
if
us.
they were tree stand deer hunting them,
Yeah.
they would have probably killed them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Like that's the setup they had,
They had the high ground on us big time.
So I was all freaked out. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh no, I did it again. I set myself up in a place, called birds in with nobody with me. Like, I need to quit doing that. I need to start sending one person up and having the other person stay with me because it always happens that way for whatever reason. So yeah, they come up and I'm filming them. 6 Jakes walk right across my face at 10 yards. Could have shot them a million times. They never saw me. They never got alarmed. They walked right past me, right past the tree I was up against, and then started like milling around behind the tree behind me. And I'm listening to them, like all behind me. And I'm like, dude, this is insane. I can't really get a hold of these guys. I have no idea where the birds actually are because I was too afraid to move right to look. And I couldn't turn my phone any further on my chest to record that far. So I couldn't tell if they were looking at me or not. And I was like, I learned my lesson from the other day. I'm not even going to look. Well, here at the same time, another bird down the bottom gobbled. I was
Yep. So fortunate
all right.
enough, one split off and took that bench, to come around. And that's when I got eyes on him because Joe got stuck looking to the right, looking up at the birds, and he didn't want to move.
Yep.
But then I was looking straight kind of down at the edge, the knob.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of right there. I saw not a little head, a giant head.
He did have a big head.
Yeah, like a giant head, a big old red head. I'm like, here comes a bird. He's coming around like we'd planned. And
Yeah.
I told Joe, don't move. There's a bird looking right. And he's thinking, well, I'm looking at the birds.
Right. They're
And-
working away.
And they're working away. What are you talking about? He's at the base. And I said, when he got up, basic gun. And that's when the bird stepped out. He had him dead to rights. 25 yards. But then it's not the big gobbler he's at. I mean, I seen the bird. He had a giant head, like a 4-inch beard. And I'm like, that's a gobbler in my mind.
Put me in, coach.
I was like, I'm not passing. I was like,
Tag him in.
basically, we're right there. I was like, he heard my hammer cock back and he kind of like moved a little bit.
To plug his ears.
Yeah, because like, because I was positioned to the left, he was positioned to the right. Well, I had to swing when I did. Then, we're kind of like shoulder. But anyway, so I saw the bird. He was definitely a good bird to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I waylaid him 40 yards.
Yeah.
Rolled
He
him.
started putting.
Yeah, because when Joe
Again.
moved, because, Joe was trying to basically protect his ears, so he brought his finger up to plug his ear.
He caught that movement.
And he caught that movement.
Yep.
And he started putting, and I knew, now or never.
Yep.
And so when he got clear of this one bush, he stopped for a split second. Just hit him, man, with that.
That's the right
That's-
call, Jaybo.
That Stevens
Yeah.
301 with
Yeah,
that
buddy.
Indian Creek, man. That's a gun right there.
That is.
I want to build me one of those for
You
sure.
should. I
It's
got
a-
a 301 and a 410.
It's a great shooting gun.
They're freaking sweet little guns, man.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with them. We were talking about it a couple episodes ago. They rust real bad.
Yeah.
It's just all Stevens, whatever
Yeah,
steel they're using in their barrels and the coatings and everything. They surface rust real bad.
Yeah.
So you got to keep them oiled all the time. But if you get them Cerakoted or something,
yeah,
dude, you're in the money.
yeah.
And
For
they
the
are a killing machine.
yeah for the money, you can't beat it. I mean, I
Yeah.
call it things a sniper rifle.
It's a heck of a
That red dot on
little
top.
setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the red dot that came with it was, I mean, not the best name brand, but it's been a
It
great.
works.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's True
it's-
Glow.
yeah,
I'm
it's-
pretty sure.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my first bird.
Yeah, he shot him and the thing just flopped all the way
Yeah.
down the hill.
Yeah, that's the thing too about train elevation. I learned.
What happened?
You shoot them at 40, they might end up 100 yards from you, rolling down the
That
hill.
is-
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, should we talk? Should we tell them about how I?
Yeah.
You've been sitting for a while, right?
Oh yeah. That was the funny part is I had been sitting, and I heard this happen to people. Like my leg went completely numb. Didn't realize, basically dead. And I'm a Florida flatlander. I don't run downhill ever.
Or
And-
up them.
Yeah, or up them.
If you ran downhill, you stepped in a puddle.
Oh man, let me tell you. Yeah, exactly. So I jump up, because this bird is basically dead as a doornail, but flopping, like just rolling down the hill.
Mhm.
And I was going to kind of get up easy and just work my way down. Well, Joe jumps up and takes off. And I'm like, I am not letting this guy beat me to my bird, man. Like, so I jump up and I go to take off and like trying to beat Joe to my bird because his instinct is to get this sucker because he
Mhm.
knows what's going to happen. It's going to be down at the bottom of the hill. So I go to take off.
Jaybo's got spaghetti
I got
legs.
spaghetti legs, man. And I'm telling you, the good thing I gotta say, the good thing the gun broke my fall. So that's great. I kept thinking, I told Chuck, I said, don't worry, Chuck. I broke the fall with my face. It's fine. But I was really nervous, man. I thought he'd let me borrow his gun that morning. I had it for freaking 2 hours and broke it. I was worried that I had knocked the zero off,
No.
So I looked at the gun. Everything looked good. Nothing was wobbly. And when I fell, I made sure that right before I hit the ground, I kind of like threw my left arm up because I had to and kind of landed on which to this day is like
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It was my ibuprofen.
I've been
Eating it.
I've been eating it, man, because I think 2 hours of being here pretty much crushed my knee on a rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So now I've been like, ibuprofen, wrapping it up, but it's good. It's good. But
Solid.
so anyways, we get down to the bird and basically yanked him up and started walking uphill. And that's when I realized, holy cow, like I'm in pretty good shape, right?
Mhm.
I'm in the military. I stay in shape, but there ain't nothing like being, I don't even know what, but
Not super
Not
high.
super
but,
high.
I
Still.
mean, I feel like
800 feet.
I felt like I was still acclimating,
Probably.
and then you have the the 40-degree whatever it was
Mhm.
incline, carrying a 20-pound bird or 18-pound bird, whatever it was,
And your vest.
and my
your
vest
gun
and the gun,
everything
I
else.
was struggling. I was basically starting to see stars. I was coming up that because I was trying to come up there, I was trying to get up fast, back
Oh, yeah.
to where we were, because I wasn't sure what Chuck's plan was. I get back on this bird soon or what, but I was
Yeah,
just
the other
trying to-
Jakes were still above me.
Yeah.
I stepped out after it all went down, and Jakes were still right there above me. But
Ready
Yeah.
to die.
yeah, we passed them guys. But
Yeah.
it was a great hunt, and I mean, from my perspective, I mean, for my first turkey hunt where I was actually successful, it couldn't have went any. I mean, Bruce and the birds the night before. I mean, I think we ended up moving 4 times,
yeah,
different,
at least 3 times.
at least 3
That's
different.
the fun part of
Yeah,
it.
because
though,
you
too.
get set up, and there's that game that you play in your head where it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Actually, it might have been 4 times
yeah, I think it was
because
the
I think
fourth.
we moved. Well, our first setup, then we moved once, and we moved up a little bit farther the second time, and then I think that third time may have been our aggressive move
Yeah.
over. So yeah, we had 4 setups.
Yeah, so we
moved
had
3 times.
multiple setups going on. We had a bunch of stuff going on. Oh, one thing that happened that we thought, I saw the frustration in your face when it started blowing
Oh,
right
that's the
off
worst.
rip. Like we get in, we get set up, everything's perfect, and all of a sudden the wind blow kind of down from the bottom up to that ridge, and apparently she was bedded up there, and she didn't like it at all, and she started blowing. And this is like at prime time.
Yeah.
Like right when they should be either gobbling a limb. She's over there just Chuck is. I'm looking. I'm watching Chuck. Because Chuck's my turkey hunting mentor, and so I'm kind of like basically just and I was like, okay, so this is not going well, and I'm just like being quiet, like maybe it will work out, and it did. I mean, made a couple different moves. We got aggressive, and it paid off. So, but like I was saying, my perspective, like everything went like you'd want it to go. Just the move in, the call in, them responding. It was.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you had some good takeaways from it too, and I'm glad it was a successful hunt. And
yeah, because I've been getting my butt kicked in Florida and Georgia.
Totally, and both hard states to kill birds in.
This is my first year, like serious turkey hunting. I mean, I kind of turkey hunted last year a little bit, but it's most year.
Yeah.
I was just trying to gather information, talk to local, trying to figure things out. But this was my first like actual year of turkey hunting, and I hunted really hard in Florida. Had some opportunities, but with my inexperience on setup, I kept getting just busted.
Yep.
I had 2 really close encounters where birds were coming in, gobbling, and this is going to happen. And then, I got busted, and I was good. And then when you stand up and it's all over, you step back and you're like, well, from his perspective, that was a terrible setup, So I was learning basically the hard knocks of setup, and I went to Georgia and hunted my butt off in Georgia. I covered 25 miles a day.
Oh, man.
I mean, just destroyed my legs just trying to cover. I just couldn't get on them.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah, I mean, so
it's a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, it was like, e-bike did help. I did use the e-bike a lot, but basically, I was using the e-bike as kind of just go into a spot,
and then you were working,
and then I was basically working that spot, making a big clover leaf, random calls. Sometimes I was just trying to do what I had picked up from guys on the podcast, but I just couldn't buy a gobbles. In Georgia. But yeah, I struggled, just learning the hard. And to come up here, it's like this is what turkey hunting can be, right? Because I was basically my buddy Split Shot, he made a joke about it. He was like, man, you went from 0 to hero overnight. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt, because I was going home like
defeated.
Like defeated.
Yeah.
Like, what am I even doing? It's just, do I want a turkey hunt? It's like I knew I wanted to. I started getting, I got bit by the bug, listening to a lot of podcasts and you watching some guys on YouTube that I like to follow. And it's like I knew. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I did a hog hunt the weekend before I come up here.
I remember that.
Yeah, and so while hog hunting, went out to scout a spot that evening. I happened to walk up on a bird in full strut on the edge of this dog fennel. It was like dead dog, and I thought I saw through my binos full strut. So then I worked my way down. We got a little close. It had already gone out weeks before.
Didn't you belly crawl across
Yeah.
this
So
whole
So I first got set up. I worked my way. I tried to use some cover to get in close. 2 jakes and a down there, and I got set up. And I was like, well, you know what? I got nothing to practice and how close I can get to these birds. So I set up on them. I'm hunting, and then I'm looking at the terrain, and it was, believe it or not, there's like barely any terrain elevation particular spot. There was So then I used that terrain to my advantage, and I said, if I can just get to that tree over there, then I'll consider that. If they fly off, bust me, I end up getting to that tree. I'm fully set up, gun. I mean, I got my 30-30. I'm hog hunting.
Yeah.
But I'm pretending like it's my shotgun. And I'm like, if I can get away with these movements, I didn't know what I could get away with. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I was just trying to test, and they started, and I noticed it was a little hot, and I noticed that they were in the shade, just kind of hanging out, and one had its mouth. Had its wing, open.
Just trying to cool
like
off.
Bedded down. Yeah, I was like bedded down in the grass, and it had a really hot. They're just basically taking a break mid. And then a couple hours, about an hour of sitting there, it started to get closer to that gray light. Got a little darker. And I was like, I noticed they got up and they started working. Once the sun kind of get set up over there, I could kill them. Because I was just trying to boost my confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I did, man. I took my binos off, and I literally, like army style, like move,
nice.
Take the my gun, put it up, basically set at the top of my wrist. And I'm sliding on my side. I'm pulling my leg. I got all over to that deadfall. I was like, okay, well, if I can get set up right here without them busting, these are dead birds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I did. I peeked my head above the deadfall, seen where they were, and they were back behind this big palmetto, like their backs. I got set up, got the gun on my knee. 10 minutes later, the big long beard stepped out, walked right in front of me 20 yards.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And even
Could've
one
clobbered
point,
him.
even one point, he stuck his head up the periscope, checking things out. Had no idea I was there.
That's so awesome.
And I'm looking right down my gun barrel. I'm like, bam, you're dead.
I didn't.
Yeah, I did it, you know.
Heck yeah.
And so I'm sitting there celebrating, you know. Man, that was, you know, I'm all up by briars. I even jabbed myself in the side with one side, that chop. It's on it. And they, and they pulled this, rolled over and they chopped it. And as I was dragging myself, me right in the side. So I'm bleeding out on my side. I got briars like my face, my nose is all tore up. And anyway, I'm hurting bad, but I'm just tickled to death. I'm like, I can do this. Like that built my confidence. And not even that, I'm just sitting there quiet, just, you know, enjoy watching these birds feed. Times could have shot them more. All of a sudden, I like cluck, cluck, cluck to my right, and I just slowly turn my head. And there's another longbeard standing right there, different bird. I don't know where he came from,
Nice.
but he didn't know what I was because I was sitting there perfectly still.
Yep.
But then I know a water bottle, and I was thinking like, because even though I was PC, I was trying to think about after he clucked a couple, and then basically was standing behind the root ball. What I did was I picked my gun up off the ground, got it on my knee, looking down my gun barrel. He steps out from behind, and I'm like, bam.
That's awesome.
And I was like,
dude.
man, that's 2 longbeards I could have shot within 20 minutes of it. And then I was just so excited at that point. It's like, man, I can do this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, basically built my confidence coming into this trip that where I feel I do a lot of practice, you know, I shoot a lot, you know, military, but I'm also gun. So I feel like if I can get on it, if I can get on I can bird.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm a very confident shooter, you know, but it was not until that point.
Right.
So coming into this trip, I was like, man, I'm like on cloud 9. You know, I just they hypothetically just killed 2.
In a state that's been kicking your ass.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally kicking my butt. So just, you know, put me basically instead of being like 0, I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It was riding on cloud 9 at that point.
Sometimes that confidence is all you need, man. It's like manifesting your own destiny. And so, I mean, confidence is key, especially when you're going into a spot like you haven't been to. You know, you get in, you're like, I'm going to find the tree immediately. I'm going to get into it, and you have a good.
I mean, the biggest thing too is I didn't know what I could get away with. You know, you hear that, you know, you always hear that, and we know that their eyesight is, we know that they can hear well. So I was like, what can I get away with? And I realized, I think a lot of the time, basically paralysis by analysis.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right. So I was actually hurting myself by being too cautious.
Yeah.
By doing what I did, I learned that, okay, you can get away with a lot more than this.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
You know, not every bird, you know, you got a bird older and wiser, maybe, but these birds were, definitely mirror gobblers. It's by looking at the size of these kill osceola. They're relatively small birds, but these particular birds, they were the biggest osceolas I'd ever seen.
Whoa,
Keep that in the back of your mind, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good thing that you did do it because it paid dividends up here in Pennsylvania. I mean, we got you a bird first morning, right off the rip. I was happy. Pressure was off. It's like, all right. Got him his first turkey.
That's what I told Chuck. I said, hey, man, pressure's off. I said, we can just have fun now.
That's exactly it, dude.
We're always going to have fun,
Oh, yeah.
no matter
Oh
what.
yeah.
But, you know, this week was, it wasn't some of the best weather. We've had some good weather and bad weather, but for the most part, we've hunted every day. I mean, we hunted Sunday. We went to West Virginia. I think of the 4 states you visited, that's probably your least favorite.
It's West Virginia's been kicking my butt. I mean, not just the hills and the hollers, man.
Yeah.
It's first of all, it's beautiful.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
one of the most gorgeous like states I've ever hunted, and big white oak flats on the edge, or you know that basically a point white oaks.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, beautiful. But
It's so green.
my first day, like I consider myself. I don't know if it just took me a couple of days to get acclimated, and I was fine. Like I mean, I covered up, down. I mean, mostly out of flush. So I guess, and probably the mountain ops probably helped a little bit too.
There you go.
I've been crushing Chuck's mountain ops. He's like, "Hey, bro, you gonna hit me up with here's a promo code?" I'm like, "Don't worry, bro. I'll get you some
I
mountain
didn't
ops."
say that.
Nah.
For the record.
Yeah.
Let the record show. I didn't say that.
He didn't say it, but I could see it on his face. He's like, "Oh, another scoop." I don't know. Anyway, so but like I said, my first day, I was trying to keep up with it. It was Keith, right? Keith went with us,
Kenny.
or Kenny. I'm sorry, Kenny
Close.
went with us. Yeah, close enough. Kenny, he went with us, and just trying to keep up with those guys. But yeah,
Boy, we covered some ground that
we
day.
covered a lot of ground.
We never set up once.
No shit.
No,
Never set up once. That first day, we decided we were going to go into the area where Cody shot his second bird, thinking, you know, maybe nobody's messed with the turkeys back there.
Should have went. Yeah.
Shush.
I went there today.
We
Did
went
you?
there,
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
get
get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah, you just shush.
It's a great spot.
So
You should've
we
listened.
were going to go across the road from where you went initially because recently Sabelli's been on a bird in there. There's been a turkey there. So
Isabelli heard a bird in there.
no, he was underneath that one. I put him in. Well, if he would have talked to me before he went, I would have put him underneath that bird. But
Yeah.
he stayed back and watched the turkey fly away from him. Go figure. But we, from the beginning, we went in, we listened, didn't hear a peep in the morning. So we went down that big, nasty ravine, out the other side and up the other hill. And I'm creeping out to the field and I'm looking, being real cautious because the other side's like this tilled, gorgeous field that like wraps back in. There's these beautiful oak trees, giant oaks, gorgeous open ridge. And we get in there and it's so pretty. That was the prettiest day we've had of all the days was West Virginia. Just gorgeous. And I pop up and there's a guy walking through the dead center of that field.
And
And I'm like, this dude has a white hoodie on. What is he doing? And he's walking through the middle of the field.
It's bird watching.
at prime time.
At like fly down. Like we're creeping up. Like we're probably a little past fly down. So we're creeping up to try to set up on the edge to see if any birds out in this field, and we're going to try to call him in. This dude's walking right down the dead center, middle of the field.
What if
Wide
dude,
open.
It's public land. What if he wanted to play ultimate frisbee?
He might have been doing that.
He was turkey hunting.
Now that you think about it.
He was turkey
And
hunting.
it wasn't a white hoodie. What
It
was
not
it?
a white hoodie. It was pure white hair.
Long hippie hair.
Long white hair and a long white beard.
Big Santa Claus
It was
beard.
Santa Claus.
I honestly thought I could get Santa Claus.
Santa Claus in Bottomlands.
You sure it wasn't?
I mean,
I think it was.
Land.
Yeah.
I'm convinced it was.
I'm about 99% sure. I don't even know if he had a gun. I think he had just like a sack full of toys.
Oh.
And he was heading to the dog shelter over top of the hill.
Yeah, he had a sack full
Something, I don't
of. He had
know.
a sack full of those 301s in his bag there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
buddy.
yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
totally missed out.
We should have went over and asked him for a gift, but we didn't. Instead, we was like, okay, well, we're not going to set up here now. That was the plan. We are going to get in there and set up and watch this beautiful tilled field. Didn't work out, so we started walking. We're trying to get to the other spot where there's another tilled field, and we kind of took the wrong turn. And at this point, I'm like, okay, well, we can just go back here and go across the street. And we can hunt our whole way back. It looks nice. They've cut the trail. Trail's cut. They could be on this trail anywhere. And we're getting in there, and we come up to this backside that's like this pretty nice looking field. And I was about to turn around to Kenny to tell him, like, hey, last time I was in here, this stuff was 15 feet tall, and this was all overgrown. They'd done a nice job here. And as I turn around to talk to him, I look over, and there's a guy sitting there up against
Oh my goodness.
15 yards away, maybe.
Did you guys see trucks there?
No.
Because we parked off of in that spot.
Okay.
So we didn't park in the main parking lot. So like
We
we
got-
walked a long ways away from the vehicle the entire time. And both our vehicle and Kenny's vehicle is parked in the same spot.
Oh no.
So we see this guy. Now all the thing I can think of is I'm pissed off because I have to turn around and walk all the way back and backtrack and go out around this guy. And I want to just keep going straight. Well, he kind of like waves us over and he comes up and talks to us. The guy was like, you would have thought he was out there for 3 months alone, the way he was talking to
Yeah,
us.
super nice guy. But,
Super nice. But man, he was just
Talking our ear
blah,
off.
blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Oh,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
and we were trying to be respectful because he just hooked us up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because we were like, we got to walk him up.
Yeah,
but he's
right.
like, no. He's like, no, I'm done. I've been sitting here first.
Yeah, haven't heard or
You
seen
guys,
anything.
you guys have at it, man. But yeah,
He just sat in the same spot for 3 hours?
Pretty much, yeah.
Dang.
So we
Yeah.
walked past that spot and he left. And by the way, Santa Claus was his brother. Good
Yeah.
thing I didn't say anything bad about
Yeah.
him.
like this idiot over there. He's like, oh, my brother. Oh yeah. Sorry.
So that was Fred Claus.
It was
Yeah.
Fred Claus. that
Fred
we
Claus,
thought we
okay.
ran into. Yep. And it looked like Fred Claus, older version maybe. So we got down and to the other side and come up the other hill and we called and called and called. We never heard a single gobble. I think I heard a gobble
Boy, that's tough.
Phantom.
because it
Phantom
was
gobble.
not. Well, there was a turkey that came from the area. I thought I heard a gobble from that morning
Mhm.
on private.
Was there, Jaybo?
Yes,
Yes.
Seaburn saw one.
Seaburn.
Come on,
So-
man.
It was a turkey, man. I'm telling you, man. I thought I heard one like early on behind us where we had walked in from. And I was like, well, that doesn't matter. It's all private over there. We can't even get anywhere close to there. So I wasn't really worried about it. Well, then, as we were making our way through all those fields, Seaburn had been switching spots from his first spot that he listened to and didn't hear anything. And he's like, yeah, there's 2 Jakes standing 30 yards in front of your truck in the yards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. But I'm like, the way we walked in, there was grass up to our waist. It was soaking wet. I'm like, that turkey's not coming on the public. He's going to stay in these yards and work private back and forth all day long. So that was day 1 in West Virginia. Beat the shit out of all of us.
That's tough.
Well, Seaburn
man.
came in clutch though.
Yeah,
because we had walked out on a 6-mile trucks.
It's easy to do down there.
Yeah, because you just the roll. The
You
roll
just
and the
keep
hills.
going.
You just
and
keep
it just
going
seems
and going.
like it just goes forever.
But luckily,
That's
we
solid.
went to Connie's for breakfast.
oh yes, Connie's.
Ooh.
Yeah, iconic Connie's breakfast.
Yeah, so he even had Connie's.
Boy,
So-
you've been on a trip.
Mm-hmm. I've been treating him good. But West Virginia is not.
Oh, man.
He heard his first gobble in West Virginia today.
Yeah, today. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean,
I told him, I was like, hey, man, I got an 8 o'clock call. Here's the keys. You want to go? Go.
yeah. So
And
I
he went.
took off because I feel like, hey, I came up here to hunt.
Hell yeah.
Where'd you hunt today? Don't say specifics.
Yeah.
but-
West Virginia.
West
He went
Virginia.
to, okay, so a little background. We went one other time to West Virginia. We went down to the bird feeder birds where
Okay.
Pork Chop and I were chasing them, and I killed mine.
Yeah, I know those ones.
They weren't there. There was a hen there. We saw a hen fly down.
I should clarify this because I don't think we have. Like in the past, we've talked about these bird feeder birds for a while. We're not hunting them on a bird feeder.
I don't even think there is a bird feeder.
I don't think
we
there is
just
I don't think there is either.
we just call them that because
Yeah.
they just love this little old lady
yeah.
and
She
they're in
might
her
feed
they're in her
them. I
yard
don't know.
every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
They roost on public,
Right.
and then they fly down into the private, and then they walk into the private yards,
Yes.
and they spend all day in this lady's backyard. So we've always called it the bird feeder birds.
Right.
I don't think there's a bird feeder there. I truly don't.
Yeah, I was
It's
looking
just
for
a
one.
nickname of the spot.
It's just
Yeah.
a nickname.
I was looking for one. I was glassing in there. I'm like, where's bird feeder at? You know, they keep talking about, but it's just what they call it.
It's
Bird
just a
feeder
spot.
birds.
Literally
Yeah.
just what we call it.
Yeah,
And they're always
spot's-
out in that person's yard,
Mhm.
strutting and doing their thing. So
I
you
think
know,
she
fine.
raised them as poults or something because they seem, I don't
they
know.
love it there.
Yeah, it's like
All the turkeys.
I've never been down to West Virginia and not seen birds in that
Mhm.
yard.
yeah, it's
They're
crazy.
always there.
Always there.
So we're going to cut them off again, right? No, they were down probably 500-600 yards down
Yep.
from us, roosting in a different spot. And that day was rough too. We didn't. I mean, at least I heard that bird gobbling all morning, but it was a really bad day.
Yeah,
so
no
this
bueno.
is the 3rd time he's hunted West Virginia. Today he went to the spot where Sabelli and I went near.
Nice.
That spot above the swamp. And then he worked around the middle towards like where you and I usually
Yep.
do, that big top on the other side, and heard a bird gobbling over
Nice.
there.
But I did go in blind to the spot that Chuck told me to go set
It's a
up.
good spot
He's like,
over
go in
there.
there. And I got in. I feel pretty good about this. I got in real clean, real quiet. Took my time, sat down, set up. And right at about fly down, a hen do the tree yelp.
Yep.
And then a fly down
A
cackle. But she flew
Mhm.
down on the other side of the hedge. Now that I know. That's kind of cool. I got in there, got set up, and got right up underneath the hen. Just
Yeah.
that lone hen.
Those hedgerows are thick, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's
So
rough. That spot's so hit or miss. It's like they're either there, and there in years past they were always there.
Oh, yeah.
They were there every single time. This year it's been weird. It's been hit or miss. It's either they're there or just that hen's there,
Yep.
and it's like off and on. Whatever, Whenever I send somebody in there, it's like there's no gobbler, but then Sabelli will go and there's the gobblers there. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell, man? So he did not have them there, but he had a couple gobbles around 8 o'clock, 8:15, and chased him around those hills over there. But
yeah,
no
because
luck.
I had decided that I was going to go over to the spot you told me, but I was a good ways back up and set up, and I was like, well, let me take a different way out. It kind of glass up on that. It looks, and I'm just standing there, and all of a sudden, right around. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that was far, but it was definitely that direction. And I don't remember who taught me this, but I pulled up my app and I drew, and then I walked over about 100 yards, and I still drew another line orientation that kind of gives you somewhat of marks the spot.
Yep.
And then I dropped him. He's like, yeah, I think he's got that bird named. Or something. He's like had lots of encounters with that guy.
Pretty
That's
sure
Steve.
It's the hangout spot.
I'm pretty sure that's the one Pork Chop missed.
Yeah.
From where he told me he was.
Yeah.
There's a really good chance. And he was either roosting in one of two spots. And if he heard him still up in the tree, which is definitely possible.
I'm pretty sure.
Really late.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was still up in the tree. It's everything's soaking wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grass I'm standing in, which is a mowed trail when they mow it, it was up to over my knee. But it took me 45 minutes to work around. I had two avenues, and I hit Chuck up. I was like, Chuck, which way should I go? You know this area better than I do.
Yep.
And he was like, well, you can take the yellow route or you can take the green route. He's like, these are the pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt better about the yellow route. And so I took the yellow route. It took me 45 minutes to get over there. And I was trying to, use cover, and I just didn't want to go over there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yellow route was risky because it was kind of open.
It was risky.
Basically, the yellow route from where he was, he would have gone across, like, that bottom that goes down and then up the other side, all in the middle of all of everything there.
Yeah.
And then on the other side is like where they have all those cut paths.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like brushy. But like if they're on the top there where it goes up the knob and they're looking across, they would see
that's
you.
the thing is hindsight's
Immediately.
20/20. It took me 45 minutes to do the yellow route, and like you said, it's risky. But when I got over there, I started looking back at where I did. I'm pretty sure he saw me. He pitched off and went. But you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know if you don't go.
That's exactly it.
But it probably would have took me an hour and a half. The green route. But I probably. But hindsight's always 20/20.
He could have left by then.
And he was on fire. I'm thinking he was still on the limb, and when he dropped, he flew down. He got quiet.
Shut up.
Yeah.
And
they do that a lot.
Especially several weeks in.
Mm-hmm.
Things change, pressure.
I gotta be honest. This late, I'm surprised you guys saw other guys.
Oh yeah. We bumped into some people. There were another car here and there.
Well, I didn't see anybody today.
And it was
the benefit of hunting today was I didn't see anybody.
Hell, we were there. What, on a Monday? We saw people.
Yeah, it was Sunday and Monday,
and we saw people both days. And there was, dude, it's still getting pounded.
I wish the Game Land staff would come in.
Mm-hmm.
They will. Probably when they go to burn, they'll probably remow.
That would be.
They need to mow.
That would be awesome.
Bad.
Because
so high right now.
Yeah, it's like everything I walk through, soaking wet. Some of it was over my knee.
Makes for hard walking when you're putting on as many miles as you are too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, the green route would have been back down the way we walked out that time you shot your bird.
Yep. I know that route real well.
But then cut back up to the other ridge where I saw you and Mikey and his dad coming out.
Yep.
Cut down and around and go out around the woods and do that path, which is a little longer, but I told him there's like the cover's insane. It is good. Mm-hmm. You'd never be seen. You'd have a huge wood lot and big hillside between the two.
You got those hard edges that you can walk and you can really cover ground fast if you want to.
Yeah, you could stay right on the edge, and if the trail's cut, even better, but who knows? It probably wasn't.
Yeah,
a lot of them are.
Also, too, I had my first encounter with a pheasant. Big, like, male pheasant.
Rooster.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. He didn't even know I was there. I was actually cutting through this little block, and I wanted to check it out. It was and I got in there, and it's absolutely like a big horizontal limbs.
There's some Mondo
20,
oaks down there,
30 feet up, and there's all this scratching at the and I'm standing there just being quiet. And all this time, I thought deer were blowing at me. Right, all day long. I'm walking around and I'm like, and I'm even checking my wind. I'm like, how is this deer blowing at me?
Yeah.
No, these pheasants apparently sound like deer blowing at you, and that's just their. Because I threw my binos up because I saw movement. He was standing up on top of a deadfall, and he was just hammering his head off, doing that weird whatever pheasant, whatever it is. It sounds like a deer's blowing at you.
Yeah.
Man, I got my binos up, and I'm pretty sure he's a world record.
He's been in there for 10 years. I've been listening to him in that bottom.
Yeah, apparently no one
every time. I didn't realize that's what it was either. I thought it was just crazy bird. It was a pheasant the whole time.
He was huge. I mean, I'd seen pictures of. I've never seen a pheasant in person, right?
Yeah,
but I've seen pictures of them hanging on the tailgate of a successful day of hunting. And you can kind of get a visual reference of size based on the guys next to the birds, right? I'm telling you, this bird was huge. And I'm just like, Chuck, can I shoot this bird? he's like, no, it's not pheasant season. I'm like, he's almost the size of a turkey. I mean, he's huge, man. But anyways, I just sat there and enjoyed the moment. I was
That's
just like,
awesome.
I knew I couldn't shoot him, but I was just messing with Chuck because I knew Chuck would be like,
That was the
do
first
not
place
shoot
we
the bird.
That's the first place we had to teach Pork Chop what a pheasant call was too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just never ever make that noise. I thought
Mhm.
does were blown day long.
Oh, yeah.
Turns
It
out,
does have a blowish kind of noise to
yeah,
it.
it's weird. You'd have to hear it to. I'm not even going to attempt to try to make the sound.
Yeah.
It's
but
goofy.
It is weird. And I've
When
heard
they flush, it's
Sibeli
terrifying
was telling
in the
me.
dark.
Sibeli was telling me one of the most scariest things in the wood is when a pheasant flushes and it's pitch black dark.
It's fine.
You'll come out of your skin.
There's only a couple birds worse than that. It's a grouse and a turkey.
When they come out of the limbs in the dark
Yes.
and it just starts raining freaking
You're
bark
walking
and everything on you.
You're walking in and all of a sudden 20 turkeys flush. Sounds like a helicopter takes off in front of you. That will get your attention really quick.
Oh, yeah.
And the grouse, they have like that base to their fly. So when they take off, it's like a... And you
Yeah.
can almost feel it. Like
Yeah.
it is...
That was pretty good, actually.
Thank
But
you.
Yeah, that was
Thank
actually
you.
good.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels and sounds like to me.
should save that clip and we can sell it as an audio
that
file.
was pretty solid.
Yeah, man.
Call them in. Dude, it's brutal. But
Yeah.
that wasn't the only bird you had an opportunity at.
Yeah.
We went out Tuesday morning.
It was the 14th.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, we lose-
This has been a
Yeah,
long
I'm
trip.
telling you
Today's
what.
only Wednesday.
I've been hunting hard for 5 days. I'm losing track of what day it
Holy
is.
moly, yeah. So
But yeah.
yesterday we went out. We went to a game lands first, and we had some intel that the two birds that I was chasing, the one that my nephew Johnny missed, well, I think I saw him the other day still walking around, looked fine. But there was the two that I've been hearing all year were out there Monday morning
Oh, yeah.
in the field. So like, all right, Tuesday we're going in. So Sam, Jaybo, myself, we went in. We got all the way in back in there, and it was just deafening quiet, horrifyingly quiet. And I'm like, this
That's
is
tough.
It
not
wasn't, yeah.
a good morning.
Wasn't
No
feeling,
wind
wasn't
or
feeling
anything.
yeah, it wasn't feeling right.
It was not good. It was didn't feel. And all of a sudden, I look back to my left, and there's a bird coming out of the woodlot that we're in, out into the field. And I'm like, how the hell did you get over there? And it's a hen. I'm like, okay. Well, then there's a second bird. I'm like, no, looks a little darker,
Jake-ish. looking.
Jake-ish, but I can't see a beard, and I can't really see it because there's a bunch of leaves and stuff on the edge of this field. So I'm watching them, and they kind of go, and they're doing their thing, and I keep calling and calling. Next thing I hear them right behind me, and they're like doing this half cluck, half putt kind of noise, where they're just making like a bunch of like weird clucky putty noises. But they're looking, I can see them on the edge, and like they're looking and they're walking back and forth, and they can't figure out how to get into the woods because it's just multifloral rows on the edge. Even though there was a trail like 20 feet to the right, they're like stuck in place.
Yeah.
And they're looking, and I can just see their heads in them. That's definitely a hen, and I don't think the other one's a Jake, but it could be. At one point, I thought his head looked kind of reddish, but the one Jake in there, man, he looks like a hen. Like, he is so hard to even identify by the head or anything. His beard maybe an inch.
He's got a pincher.
Oh, dude, it's so little. And then, like, his head, he still has feathers almost all the way up to the top of his
Oh,
neck.
yeah. That's
So
tough.
he is just like
Late poult.
a very late poult, and he's still hanging out with Mama. Is
Yeah.
how I'm taking this.
Yeah.
Like, this looks like a fall Jake with the Mama hen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was, because both times I've seen him, he's been with that hen. So it's weird, but, and he don't gobble, he don't do anything. He putted a couple times at me the other day, but that was about it. And he was they were making the same noises the other day at me. Or not at me, but in that area.
Yeah.
It was just weird, a weird coincidence. So probably the same birds. And then they fed off down the field, and I was like, you know what? I'm not seeing anything. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go drive around and get eyes on something. So, I mean, back to the bread and butter. Jump in the truck, start driving down the road, and we're seeing some turkeys here and there. We saw that one lone gobbler in that field with the geese. I'm like,
That's
okay.
odd.
Dude, he's there every single time I drive by that field. He's one gobbler by himself, no other turkeys, a field full of geese.
Thinks he's a goose.
He thinks
Yeah.
he's good. He might have been raised by geese. We don't know. We're thinking. He might be out there honking. That's why you don't hear any
That
gobbles.
might be it, man.
So we finally were like, all right, I know another game lands. Let's go over there. We're going to hit those up, but I do have a call later, so I got to prepare for that call. Let's just go and see if we can do some hunting real quick. We got about an hour before I hardcore. I just got to leave. About an hour. So we get to the other game lands. We're driving around and boom, there's a turkey. All right, cool. So we drive past him. As we drive past him, he's up on this hill, like through hedge. And Sam's like, I think I saw a red head on him. Okay, I'm going to go down, turn around, we'll come back. Went down, turned around, came back. There he is in all his glory. I don't even know what it was, but I'm assuming it's a longbeard. Dude, one of the biggest, reddest heads I've ever seen on a bird. Like, this bird was a monster. It was definitely not a Jake. In my opinion, not a Jake. And he's all by himself. And I'm like, okay. Now he's in private.
Yep.
But the game lands is just above that.
Right there.
It's not, it's a little bit up there, but it's not that far.
Yeah, and he's walking that direction.
And he's going up the hill towards game lands.
Time to run.
I'm like, dude, we could do that. Well, then as we drive past, we see 2 or 3 more birds. And I'm like, if he's with hens, this could be a lot longer ordeal than what I can personally stay for. So if he was by himself, I'd be all in. Let's jump out, go chase him, try to kill this bird. It'll probably take less than a half an hour. But I was like, Jaybo and I had this talk, like, dude, it's okay. If you got to hunt by yourself, it's okay. And I'm like, I'll drop you off here. If you want to go in there after this bird by yourself, I'm more than confident that you could get it done. There's multiple turkeys. And he's like, all right, screw it. Let's go. So we dropped him off. And when Sam and I left, that bird, plus the other ones, were all fanned out. And I'm like, okay, there's multiple gobblers in this group. Like, he's might have a chance here. So we left him off, and I went home and started working. And the rest of this year is yours, because I don't know what the hell happened after that.
Yeah, well, I started walking up, just trying to hug private inside the game. Got back up in there, and I kind of had an idea of where they were. You walk in that, I get back in there, a nice bottom. It's just real pretty. It looked very turkey-ish. Mm-hmm. And where they were coming from, real thick underbrush, open crop field, even though a couple hundred, real thick. But there's always that where private and that fire break, whatever. So I was like, well, let me kind of circle over there and take on. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. An old fire break. And I was like, path of least resistance, because I knew where they were heading. If I were to, so I'm going in the public, and I'm looking if they did come through. And so I found one spot, seemed pretty good. There was a big deadfall, big tree had fallen, but I did screw myself by setting up on one side of it. I got to basically and I set up on another, and I just did some light calling just to see if I can get him to respond or just to let them know. I sat there for about 30 minutes, just not in the game. Like, something just didn't feel right. I was just too far. I need to get in the bubble. Kept kind of basically everything Chuck has taught me over the kind of reaching out to him, getting advice, and then with him. Because, somebody can tell you this tip, somebody, show you this until you're physically around with somebody. Yeah. You don't see all those little, right? You read that body language. And that's when I knew, I just felt like Chuck would not be set. You got to move. Right. So then I got up, I made an aggressive move, got, another 50 yards, and I got up on the ridge, and I could see, so I got set up just real soft, just seeing if I can get one of them, because I know there was a Jake in the figure. If I get that Jake, at least will give me for about another 30. I'm looking at my watch, time's running out. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to get it. Yeah. So I was like, what's the worst that's going to happen? So I was like, what, I'm going for it. I got it even tighter. And I got in that side, that about 80-yard bubble. And I just hammered on my call. And pa, 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 pa. I was like, oh, holy cow. They're like right there. So then I start, and another thing Chuck taught me is, like, this is a mistake I was making in the past, is that I would just sit down. Like, in the past, I'd be like, oh, bird. And I would just sit down in the closest tree. Well, I was like, no, that hasn't helped me in the past. So I stood there for a minute looking around. I was like, I got time. It's not like these birds are, I was like, they're very comfortable. And they were on the back side of this knob. On the back side of that field, they felt comfortable for not being able to hanging out. Because once they gobbled, I got an idea of where through the brush I could scan and move. Oh, yeah. Okay, path least was kind of best guess. I looked back and I said, okay, that tree, because I needed to get him to step onto public. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was my big. So I'm like, okay. So I got my setup. I got all set up, and I just started doing a little calling. Immediately respond. I'm gonna go quiet, and I don't really run a mouth call, because even though my buddy over at, Daniel from Honeycomb Custom Calls, he tried to build a latex free as possible call. He did a non-latex read, but the tape itself is so it's got a little bit. So I only run them when I know that, or I have a high. I got a chance. This bird is committed. So I popped my call in because, biggest downfall of I feel like I got habanero. So it's not very comfortable, but I'm willing to sacrifice if I can get a bird to come in. I'm just not going to sit there and run this call all day. So I got my call. They knew that once they knew I was there, but I wanted to kind of sweet talk them into coming over because they, in my mind, I'm thinking there's 4 of them. 3 I know are Jakes, and that one gobbler that one bird that we thought was a longbeard because he just sounded different. So I knew he was over there too. I just didn't know where. But I'm like, okay, there's no reason for this hen not go to this. They're over there hammering. They're like, hey, we're over here. And I was like, if this is going to happen, it's when they get in tight, I'm going to have little bubble clucks and some purrs to hey, even though you're there,
I'm over here.
That's the biggest problem. I didn't have a decoy either. So it just worked out. Like I got set up and I'm looking, I'm scanning with my eyes and I move my head, but I'm just scanning my eyes and all of a sudden I see these heads start coming.
Yeah.
Again, not taking the path of least resistance. They were literally bulldozing through the brush. And I'm like, I was still kind of set. Remember that whole left-right limit thing? I was still set up real hard right on that path of least resistance, but I could swing. So as soon as they their heads ducked into a low spot in the brush, I shifted, got ready, and started bubble clucking, some purring, some, a little bit of whines the best I could do. And then I just got quiet. And one thing I did right before I got quiet is I just
scratch
like, yeah, like I'm over here. And then I just got quiet and I let them basically commit because I could tell they were committed. But so anyway, I got quiet and sure enough, here they come. They stepped out onto the fire break. I'm like, they're still, technically still on public. On private. I need them to commit. As soon as they come across that fire break, game on.
Let them eat.
Right. So first one comes across the fire break. He's about 10 yards into public. And I'm like, but he's a Jake. And I'm like, I'm fired up. I'm going to shoot this guy if I get an opportunity, but there's no reason to rush it. Like there's still 2 birds coming. So I'm watching. I've still got him in my sights. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what, I still ain't quite figured out why. I think, because they were so tight on me when I was doing my little purrs and bubble clucks and stuff that they had me pinned.
Yeah,
Like,
they were really dialing you in.
They knew where I was. So when he got in there and he was like, I don't see if she's not what's going on. And he started doing that like, like kind of like that little putt. And then I saw the other birds start doing like this circle dance. And so I knew it was like they're still down in the brush on private or something.
Yeah.
And that longbeard, he never committed. Like he just wasn't having it. So when that one Jake that was still on public started turning around and he started like he was going to go ahead and walk back over to private and join his buddies, I was like, now or never. And I'd worked so hard to get to that position.
Yeah.
I felt like I had used everything that Chuck had taught me so far up to that point. I was like, I'm not getting like my heart's pumping out of my chest.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like I'm fired up. That's like I'm letting him have it, man. So I did, man. I waylaid him, rolled him, and man, I was just like so excited. Like I let out this like redneck like woohoo, like I was so happy, man. I jumped up on my feet. This time I checked, make sure that I could feel my feet. And man, I ran over to that bird and I picked him up. He was deader than a doornail, but I dropped to my knee. Thank you, G. Like, yeah, I finally did like 100% on my own. Went in and killed this bird using everything that I knew. Yeah, to kill this bird. I mean, obviously, I would have loved to have shot the longbeard, but I was tickled to death to have shot that big. Hell yeah! And he had a 2-inch beard. I mean, big old head on him. I'm like, I'm calling him a super Jake. Okay, yes, I'm just saying that. But either way, like I said, I'm tickled to death that my first kill on my own, using everything that I know up. And from this point on, it's just learn. That's right. Learn.
Dude, that's a great experience, man.
Yeah. And like I said, doing it up here in Pennsylvania, my buddy Chuck, my mentor, couldn't have went any better. And I remember when I was coming back, he'd text me like, so he parked. And I remember coming down the hill and I had this bird like slung over my shoulder. And I'm walking up to him and I'm like, look, Dad, I did it all by myself. Yeah, so I know he's pretty proud of me, man. We did the fist bump.
So awesome, dude.
Yeah, so it was cool. So
I was so fired up, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, couldn't get a hold of him or nothing, but I was just like, I just got a picture of him with a turkey at like 11:04, and I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. He got it. He actually got it done. Like, oh my gosh, this is freaking great. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was so fired up. I canceled my call.
Canceled my
I
call.
don't care. I'm going. I'll move this call forward
Yeah,
a couple days.
it worked out. It was good though.
Dude, that's
So,
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that whole experience, like, seeing the bird, you kind of like strategizing, him dropping me off,
Mm-hmm.
and then be like, hey man, take
Get after it.
Yeah, take what you take
Gotta
what
do
I
what
take
you
what I
gotta
taught
do.
you, take what I taught you, learn, and see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
And it worked out. So
I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you took the challenge to go and to just say, screw it, I will try it.
yeah,
Because a lot of people have been like, nah, well, maybe we'll just try them tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that, and
that's my personality though. Like, I'm typically not afraid to just
Yeah.
go for broke. Like, you're gonna learn something regardless. Like,
Mhm.
every experience is a learning experience, and I typically learn most from failure.
Yeah,
Right?
oh, yeah.
That's
I
a-
should.
yeah,
That's that's an emotional, like, personal attachment when you fail,
Yeah.
and you learn a lot from it. I mean,
Oh,
don't get me
yeah.
wrong, I learned from success too. I've hunted my butt off so much to finally act.
heck yeah,
It was like so much taken off my shoulders.
What a
Yeah.
freaking payoff, dude.
heck
heck yeah.
yeah.
That's so awesome.
Now you're tagged out in Pennsylvania.
Tagged out in Pennsylvania. It feels good to say that.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's Jake's. Just I'm
Yeah,
a
Who
it doesn't
cares,
matter,
man?
Jake assassin,
Dude,
Yeah.
the Jake destroyer.
that is so cool,
Yeah.
man.
Too long beard. Nope. That's
Good
what I told
for
you.
you.
That's what I told Chuck. I said, sorry. 2 less long beards next year. But you know what? I had to thin that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
going to move this mic. I need a high five right now.
Yeah.
Oh. Heck yeah.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
Heck yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
We're pretty fired up, man. That's what it's all about right here.
About the experience. That's what I told
Yeah.
Chuck, man.
Right here.
I thought it was a gobble.
Yeah.
thought you were gonna
That's
do
what I
the
thought he was going to
gobble.
do a gobble too. But
You know how Chuck feels right now?
It's true. It's true. That and my whole body's shutting down. I'm ready for bed.
we got to get up at like 3.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta
so
get up early.
we got like 2 hours of sleep.
Gonna go tear it up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're getting back after in the morning, man.
Love it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't
Make the most of it.
I can
man.
sleep on the plane.
fool
That's
around.
exactly it.
Yeah. We decided we were gonna push this podcast to tonight. Made more sense.
Yeah.
We're gonna be closer tomorrow. And yeah,
Beautiful.
it'll be good.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys having me on. Let me tell
Dude,
my
I
story,
appreciate
my
you coming the
experience.
whole way up here.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, it's been just
It's fun.
yeah. Can't even put it to words how. Thank you so much to Chuck and his wife for being accommodating.
Mhm.
Mostly his wife. She's super patient with us because we're like 2 teenagers, like all geeking out about turkey hunting, and she's not having it. But
Shout
she's
out to the Dean machine.
great,
Yeah.
great host. She's amazing.
That's awesome.
She's used to this behavior this time of year now.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
distraction
it's-
is real, isn't it?
It
Let's
sure
go.
is. So there you have it.
That is so awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, Jaybo, thanks again for coming on, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
Anytime.
Good luck in the morning, guys.
Thank you. We're gonna give her hell.
You're gonna have a guide over here.
I know. It's-
Cameraman now.
I'm glad.
Cameraman.
Finally, he's gonna guide me. I can't wait.
Let's
It's
go.
gonna be awesome. We're gonna be meeting up with Mikey Fennel
Very cool.
and
Yeah.
heading out in the morning. So
Beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is just what more benefits you can get when you join our Patreon group. You get to come up here and, if you missed the turkey hunt in West Virginia for our Patreon hunt, you can still come up and stay with us and hunt for a week. And
Yeah. If you're not part of the Marco Polo group, you're missing out, man.
Heck yeah.
dude.
Big
yeah,
time.
it's been on fire too.
Heck yeah.
So appreciate you being a constant contributor to that end and always being a good buddy. So, all right, man.
Until
Awesome.
next week.
The distraction is real.